Hey, hey, hello, hello. It is Jennifer de Vivo, your realtor du jour, and I'm coming to you live from my home office studio. I'm super excited about this. You might have subscribed and seen some of my home tours, and might have subscribed and seen some of my tips and advice. And this one, guys, is for you in the gig economy. How y'all doing out there, gig workers? After COVID, you know that a lot of us had decided, well, not me, I've been in real estate for 15 years here in Orlando, to leave the jobs, the Great Recession, they call it. And many, many people decided to retool, start their own thing. Uh, Become podcasters, become Uber drivers, start their own businesses, and make some money equal or more to maybe what you guys were making before. So gig workers, this is for you. This is also AKA self-employed people, people who have started their own business, consider themselves self-employed. That would mean if you have a 1099 coming, you're not W-2, you're not salary, you're getting commissions, you're getting 1099s, you are owning your own business, you're doing gigs here and there. And so a lot of times people get very excited, they're making money, and I get the call, Jennifer, I'm ready to buy a house and I'm a gig worker or I'm self-employed and I'm just ready to go and buy a house. So what are the things that you need to think of? There was a really good article, and I'm just going to look here over here if you want to look it up, with the Chicago Tribune, called Buying a Home in the gig economy, how to beat lenders skepticism without a salary. And so yes, you're going to come up against a little bit of heat with the lenders, with the banks, when you're not a traditional worker. So what it requires is a little bit of planning. The banks love those W-2s. They love, okay, this has been a year of income, I can see taxes, I can see insurance, we are good and ready to go. Well, what if you don't have that? It requires a little bit of planning. So step one, definitely connect with your realtor, your financial planner, or I would say your lender, but most importantly, your accountant. You're going to tell your accountant, hi, Mr. Accountant. And if you do your own taxes, you might want to bring an accountant in to take a look at this. I'm going to be buying a house and I need to, number two, show income. So meet with your accountant, tell them you're thinking about buying a house, and two, show income. What do I mean by that? What do I mean by show income? So you're working your job or you're working your gig, you're open your business. I have a client of mine, and she's a really amazing lady, and I won't name her right now, but she's got her food truck going and it's been doing great. And I said, okay, so tell me, what is your income from that food truck? And, so let's just put a number out there that she made $50,000 last year with her food truck. Okay, great. Second question, how much did you write off? And that's the key question. How much did you write off? So when you have your own business, and I'm self-employed, so I am right there with you. We don't want to be paying all these taxes. When you were a salary, guess what happened? Your employer went ahead and took out those taxes for you. You didn't even feel it. But now, as a self-employed person or a gig worker, you were putting your money in the bank, your receipts, maybe you just have cash, maybe you're not even showing your income. At the end of the year, when you go to file your taxes, if you made $50,000 and you wrote off 30 or 40,000 of it as a loss or expenses so that you could avoid Mr. Taxman, well, that's great. You avoided a tax bill. But now when the bank comes to look and see, hey, how much money does Mary Jo or Jane or Johnny, how much do they make? They are going to look and they're going to see, ooh, only 10,000. You're going to say, no, 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 Mr. Banker, I made $50,000. Well, you're only declaring and showing a profit or net income of $10,000. So we got to plan for this. I'm not saying to avoid Mr. Taxman, but what I am saying is that if you're a gig worker and you own your own business and that's your primary income, then you are going to have to show income. You're going to have to show income to support a mortgage payment. And a lot of times this is like news, like, wait a second. And then my clients, when we sit down and we have a dream home planning session, I always say, hey, you know what, reach out to me. You can do your dream home virtual planning session. I'll pop on your screen and we'll make a plan. The lovely lady I talked to today, I was looking at our talking history, and I started talking with her way back in 2017. She was bright-eyed, bushy-tailed, but the credit wasn't right and the income wasn't right, and so we made a plan. And I continued. I promised to follow up with her. I'm human. Sometimes I don't follow up the best, but I did promise to follow up with her, and lo and behold, we're getting her an approval today because we made a plan. Now, sometimes it might be a year, sometimes it might be 2 years, sometimes it could be 6 months. And for you, I'm hoping that it is now that you're listening to this and you go ahead and structure your income properly. And that means showing income. So we talked about, and I'm looking here at my notes, we talked about getting in touch with your accountant, or you can do a dream home planning session with me. And we talked about making sure that you're not writing things off. The other thing, number three, and I'm kind of just jumping through my little bullet points here, is you want to show about 2 years of that income. You can't just start yesterday your Uber business. You can't just start yesterday your podcasting business or your cleaning business and then come and say, well, look, last month I made $10,000. I'm ready to buy a house. The bank is going to want to see about a 2 year history. They're going to want to see about 2 years of taxes. And you're a business. You know, a lot of businesses don't make it past year two, and even less make it past year five. And so the bank looks at you as a little bit more of a risk. And what you might want to do is plan to grow your business. When you're thinking about, hey, you know what? Oh, darn it, Jen, I just opened up my business 6 months ago or a year ago. Don't worry. I always say, have your goal in mind, set the vision, and take a step. Before you know it, June passes, May passes, August passes, and you can either still be stuck paying rent, or you could be looking at your new house, gaining equity, calling your place your own, never having to deal with a landlord again, which I totally hear you there. I had some landlords from hell. Okay, so definitely we're talking about that 2 year history, and having your business in business for about 2 years. There are a couple of things, in terms of not going traditional. So we talked about your traditional steps. There are some of my clients that are like, Jen, you know what? I need a house right now, and I really don't want to go the tax route and pay taxes and show all of that. There is another program that comes and goes. Okay, it comes and goes, and it would be called your bank statement program. This is an option I had to do, or was, well, not had to do, I really thought about doing when I was in a not so great situation. I've been in business for 15 years. But yeah, there was one year that I was like, this is I'm gonna have to claim some extra losses. But what the bank statement program did for me and for someone like you, it looks at what income is going into your bank account over 2 years. So if you're showing $100,000 or $50,000 of income coming into your bank account, it might be an option for you. Now, whenever you do something that's non-traditional, something that's a little crazier, then you're going to look at paying a little bit higher of an interest rate, maybe paying a little lower of a down payment. And if it's your first house, or more of a down payment, if it's your first house, it's going to take you out of any first time home buyer programs. But if you're making money and you're not really keen on, paying high taxes, and you want to just say, hey, Mr. Bank, this is what I make. Look, you can see what I've deposited. A bank statement program or something more creative might be the route for you. And the last tip I would have, I don't want to make this too long for you guys. The last tip I would have is you can always go back and restate your taxes. What does that mean? It means going back to the IRS and saying, you know what, I actually made this much money and I'm going to pay the taxes. I'm going to go ahead and pony up and pay the taxes. So now we've amended your taxes. And you want to talk to your tax accountant about this and look at the pros and cons. I am just a humble realtor. So you want to check with your accountant, your lender. You want to have that team. You want to have the realtor perspective, your lender perspective, and your accountant perspective, and hopefully all working in harmony for you as a business owner, because as a business owner, you're going to want to maybe do other things with your finances. You might want to do a business loan. You might want to raise capital. So start thinking about getting advice in advance. Don't be scared to pick up the phone and call the bank or your accountant or a realtor like me and say, hey, this is my goal. And how do I get there? Okay, so I hope those steps were helpful in terms of buying a home in the gig economy. Of course, please reach out to me. My cell number is 407-921-1310. You can text me, you can call me. And if you want to put up a dream home, set up a dream home planning session just to plan, just do hashtag dream home planning session or hashtag dream home. Either one of those, I'll understand. Hey, you want to talk a little bit and set up a plan. So for all you gig workers out there, all you entrepreneurs out there, special rah to my female entrepreneurs that are hustling out there. I just want to give you guys kudos and know that there are some different things what you have to think about when you're going to buy a home as a gig worker or an entrepreneur. And planning is key, and do not be afraid to plan. Hope you guys have a great day. Stay blessed. And thanks for allowing me to come into your space and help you find your way home. Bye, guys.